I'm Lucy Edwards with VHT Studios, where image is everything. And today is our podcast 5. Unfortunately, it's not as exciting as my other podcasts were because of the circumstances and what's going on with the whole world right now. It's obviously all upside down. Every family, every person is affected by what's happening with coronavirus. But I have a great friend of mine and an agent that we have been working with for quite some time. So Karen Bigos from Towne Real Estate, and she's going to introduce herself a little better. All I can say is that she's fabulous. She's a pleasure to work with, very professional, always involved in the community, always ready to help everybody. And it's just a pleasure to know you as a person. And then we can talk about the work. So please, Karen.
I appreciate that. Well, I'm glad to be here, and I'm a big fan of yours and VHT. And you, as a matter of fact, I need to book an appointment because we need to arrange a photo shoot for a new listing coming soon at the end of April. We're going to say, one showing at a time, the way the governor is now allowing us, one family or showing at a time, no open houses, with booties, with gloves, with masks, whatever we have to do. No using bathrooms. Everyone will have to sign some sort of an affidavit saying they have not been exposed to anyone that has the virus. And, you know, we know that a lot of people want to get out of the city. We know that a lot of people want to distance themselves from areas where they're concerned. And we're all heartbroken. Our friends and families are struggling. People are dying. This is a really tough thing to go through. It's tougher than any of the setbacks we've suffered before. And I've been selling real estate. It's going to be my 36th year. So I've been through 1980 stock market crash. I've been through the 2008 crisis, all kinds of Hurricane Floyd, Hurricane Irene, Hurricane Sandy. We've been through lots of tough things. This is the toughest so far. It's painful because it's just so much more in your face with social media than a lot of these other things ever were. It used to just turn on the news and that was the radio or the news. Now it's just on everyone's phone, on everyone's iPad, on everyone's TV. It's constant, and people are texting and calling and emailing, and my inbox is going crazy with coronavirus emails and messages. It's upsetting.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, you know, I haven't been out of my apartment for quite some time, only going to the balcony and back. so
Right.
that's as far as I get with the birds. No, it is. I think that everyone should be safe and comfortable, and they should follow the rules. And I think it is very important that we get through those tough times and obey the rules and stay in and do what we have to do. I would also like to introduce George. George, we call him George T. He's on our sales team. And so, George, just couple words about your experience now with agents in New Jersey. George covers New Jersey and Westchester County. In your territory, how like you have conversations every day. You are busier now than you were last March. So just a few words from you, please.
So just to sum up what's been taking place since the pandemic started, we had a lot of agents reach out to me directly, and they're asking me, what can I do now for the property? How can I make it stand out more to get the attention it deserves? Because obviously it's very tough, especially in Westchester County. There are no open houses, no appointments allowed, and real estate there is still considered non-essential. So in those cases, we're doing everything we can from a virtual standpoint. If a property needs virtual staging, if they have a slideshow video or a walkthrough video, narration is an option to add, and that could be done without making any visit to the property, of course.
So you're basically working with every agent individually and trying to attend to their needs and help them as much as you can.
Correct. What they're trying to do now, and I could speak for every agent, they're doing the best to their ability to work and be as productive as possible in their home office. Any resource that we have at our disposal that can help them out, I make it available to them.
Well, thank you, George. So Karen, back to you. I would like to compare, not that you can compare, I don't think the only thing you can compare to is World War true. As a matter of fact, I just spoke to my mother-in-law a couple of days ago, and she was saying that the last time Moscow, she still lives in Russia, the last time Moscow was that empty was in 1941, when everyone actually got evacuated and Moscow was completely empty. Only few people left who had to stay. And she said that she would never ever forget that moment when she was, and they lived right in the heart of the city. She walked outside and it was just like totally ghost town, dead. And now it's the same thing in Moscow, like we have here, that no one is allowed to be outside. So I can't even compare it to anything, and I'm not trying to compare it to 2008 or any other crisis, but I would still ask, to the best of your memory and ability, what would you say you went through in 2008 or the crisis before in compared to today's environment?
Well, this is a little bit more complicated because it's not just a financial crisis. This is a health crisis. And I think that we can't really avoid discussing this with our children the way we could when there was just the financial crisis in 2008. You know, nobody could really, you didn't tell your kids, oh, our portfolio just went down, or we can't pay our rent, or we don't, you know, they went about their business, and we had to kind of hold that in and not, and protect them depending on, you know, the ages of your children. But I think a lot of people are struggling now with, you know, seeing their portfolios dwindle and not having income, and they're missing people. You know, we could go to work before and we could still see everyone and we could still kind of commiserate. And now luckily we have this technology. I was on the phone last night with 5 of my girlfriends. One of my closest friends turned 60, and we all got a glass of wine and we wished her happy birthday and sang happy birthday on a Zoom video chat. And we were going to her party this weekend and it was canceled. You know, brides aren't getting married and kids aren't graduating. And this is affecting every age. Little kids can't play with their friends and they can't go to see their teachers. Kids don't understand. We don't want them to know how serious it is. So we have to hold a lot of that in. And it's not just financial. Like 2008 was financial. 9/11 crushed me. You know, that I wasn't right for a long time after that. I couldn't get back to normal for a long time. And I was healthy and I was able to go out, but I just, you know, I didn't want to list houses. I didn't want to sell houses. I didn't feel right about, open house. Like I could just be light about it. So it's going to take a while for everyone to feel comfortable. We've got a lot of friends that are sick. We've got people that are dying. We've got a lot of stuff going on besides the financial side of it. Thank God we're not getting hit with huge snowstorms or huge floods or huge fires. You know, we're fortunate that it's at a time of year where there's a lot of renewal and hope and joy. But let's face it, Passover and Easter are going to be hard this weekend on a lot of people. No one can get together. So there are complications with all of these different things, but the loneliness is hard for people who are alone. And I'm lucky. I have my family. I have my health. I'm walking every day. I'm getting a lot of exercise. I'm eating really well. I feel great. But I could be the next person. The fear of getting sick is looming for all of us. And I think that is just creating a tremendous amount of anxiety. What'll happen if I get sick? You never had that with the financial crisis. You like, okay, I'm going to be working a lot longer and harder than I thought. I can handle that. But this is more than that.
I so agree with you. I'm sorry, Judge. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the key is to keeping a very positive attitude. Don't fear of, you know, what if I get sick? Don't think like that. Just say, I will keep healthy. I will stay safe. Those are the 2 key words. I will. That's important to know. And we will get through this. We're going to come out of it stronger than ever.
You know, you mentioned 9/11. In my lifetime, I think the biggest crisis it was at 9/11 when actually Peter and I, we just started our company, Edberg, and we were doing photo shoots and floor plans where you have to go in and you open every closet and you measure, and then you open the closet and that person is no longer alive. That you go through I was crying. I could not
Ugh.
hold my tears back. And here's this little kids running around, and they still don't understand that their father will never come back. And the wife is just gathering the kids and moving to Vermont, as far away from New Jersey as possible. And we were right in the middle of it. It was so I can start crying right now. It was so hard to meet those people, and realtors, they totally understood, and they would always prepare us just in case if someone will start crying or saying something, so we are prepared. And
Well, I deal with a lot of different heartache in my business. Many people are getting divorced. Many people have lost a loved one, or they're financially struggling. Not all of my business is happy, like people getting married and having babies and buying a bigger house. A lot of people have been left by their spouse, or they've lost their job, or they're sick, and there are a lot of emotional aspects to this job. But now we're kind of afraid to go into people's houses. We don't know who's been sick. We don't want to bring our germs into anyone's house. And I just did a home inspection, and I had 2 masks on, a ski hat, goggles, a poncho, rubber gloves. I didn't want to take a chance that anything that I had could get into this house. And I opened the door. I waited outside. The home inspector and I were like sending each other messages on our phone, and he was taking pictures. And it was a very sterile, unfriendly, uncomfortable experience. And it's a beautiful, happy purchase, a young family buying a house, but it's been complicated, and it's been difficult, but not impossible. Anything's possible, like virtual tours and all of the stuff that you guys do for us at VHT. Thank goodness we have the Matterport tours, and we have videos, and we have all of these tools to sell from our computer or our laptop, iPad, phone. I mean, everybody, my Zillow views are going through the roof on my listings. We're getting a lot more views. People have more time.
I think the whole real estate business will. By the way, I hope someone took a photo of you dressed like that, because in another 6 months you will be looking at it and you will say, "Thank God it's behind me," So if you didn't take a photo like that, get dressed again and let your husband take a picture.
Oh, I look like a space alien. I was walking around with poncho and my hat and my glasses, and I had 2 different masks on, like a medical mask, and then I had like a painter's mask. And I was mostly afraid, I don't want to give my germs to anybody. Like, I don't know that I have any, but I was out and about, and I'm thinking, I don't want to be the person that, is responsible for anybody getting sick. Thank God I am healthy. And like I said, I've been walking,
knock on wood,
knock on whatever. I've been taking so many vitamins. I can't even believe that I'm not glowing in the dark, because I have been taking so many supplements. It's
Lucy, what did I drink this morning? My airborne.
Every
I
morning
we
have a call every morning on Teams, and here is George with that pink drink. I'm just like, what is it? Is it a screwdriver? He's just like, nope. Unfortunately, nope.
I wish sometimes, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere, as they say. Yeah. But no, we have to do what we have to stay healthy, and vitamin C is an important supplement to take.
Right. I've been taking an immunity shot every day with zinc and vitamin C and elderberry and echinacea. And, I take a whole crazy load of supplements and vitamins, and doing it. And I'm drinking wine at 5 o'clock every night. That helps.
We do too. Well, I just coming back to your last statement about you are prepared, because you, Karen, always treat every listing like it's the most important listing in your life. You have the floor plans and the photography, drone when it's appropriate, whatever is on the menu, and it will apply properly to the property. You always put it together as your marketing strategy. Unfortunately, not all agents do that.
Sorry, there's a very loud landscaper outside, so I apologize. I couldn't hear you for a second.
Oh, okay. So
it's-
it's just like you always do everything you're supposed to do, and you treat every listing with love, and you invest in every listing like you should, whatever it needs. If it doesn't need it, obviously not. However, that's why you are prepared. That's why now you can still do
Right.
your virtual open houses and your showings. I think real estate world will change completely, and it will be looked at so differently, and what if will constantly be in the back of realtors mind. What do you think about that?
I think the whole world is going to be changing. I don't think I'll ever use another buffet handle or a salad bar the same way without covering, because metal and germs and so many different things. I think that we are all going to think twice about many things, from public spaces and shaking hands. I stopped shaking hands in February when they canceled our Chinese New Year celebrations, and I was doing open houses, and I was bowing to people, and I was just saying, please forgive me. I can't shake hands now, but it's so nice to see you. But I was keeping my distance even then, because so many people were flying from China back to New York and New Jersey, and we knew what was going on in China. So I was very cautious.
Good for you, Karen.
I did my last
wasn't. Yeah.
March 6th, and I asked every person who came in the door, I'm so glad to see you. Please forgive me, I'm not shaking hands. I need you to wear booties. And can I ask you, please, has anybody just come back from China? And everyone said, oh no, I'm so glad you asked. No, have you been to China? We were all asking each other. But I don't think people were really worried that it was coming here yet. And I was. So I've been acting
always one step ahead, Karen. Always one step ahead.
Right. Well,
but you are right.
Right.
It's well, you are so active in your community. Every year I receive newsletters from you. By the way, your newsletters are awesome. I read them. That how we met with Karen. She sent a newsletter saying, I'm going to have an open house. It was somewhere in Short Hills area, I believe. I'm going to have an open house, and it has like a pond where you can go skinny dipping. So please come and visit. And I emailed you, and I was just like, that is the first, you know what? I don't even go to open houses. I'm not even buying anything, but I think I should come to yours just to see what in the world is that. That was so fun. It was funny. And you mentioned afterwards that it brought so many people just because it was a funny, interesting, unusual newsletter. And that's your approach to be out of the box.
That's right. I was just inviting people to say, this pool is so private, you can go skinny dipping and none of your neighbors will see you. And then
yes.
I did get a few raised eyebrows, but I always had an ice cream truck. I had an ice cream truck come to one of my listings, and I said, bring the kids and get a free ice cream. It was like $350, and we had an ice cream truck outside in the middle of summer, and all these people came to get ice cream and see the house. So it was whatever you can do that's a little bit different to encourage people to come. We gave out free ice cream. We gave out pumpkins. We were, trying to, you bake cookies, you do all kinds of things to try to make the house smell good and be more interesting. But at the end of the day, it's all about really good pricing, really good staging, and really good online marketing. And you guys help us with that. So our pictures are really important. That's key.
I make spinach and feta pies.
Pardon?
I make spinach pies.
Oh, yum.
For office presentation, so George was doing presentation in Westchester County, and he brought spinach pies, and now everyone remembers George because the pies were delicious. He got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to bake them.
Yes, I did.
That's awesome. Well, we have a saying in our business. Do you remember that movie Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come.
Yes.
Right.
If you feed them, they will come. So we serve lunch and we give away, little gift cards for restaurants or nice, not so little, nice gift cards, $100 or $200 gift cards to get people to come, because realtors can just look online and, how do people buy real estate now? They swipe. It's like, swipe. That's how people look at real estate. They're on their phone, they're on their, And have you ever gone to your laptop and tried to swipe and if the picture doesn't move because it's not interactive? Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I've actually looked at a picture and I'm taking my finger and I'm like trying to open the picture and I realize it's a photograph. It's not going to work that way. But anyway,
Right.
So Karen, tell me please, how do you, so like in your community, how do you participate? Because I know you are very active in your community and you always participate in whenever the town has some kind of event, like for Thanksgiving and the parade, and you're always there. So what are you doing now in our times?
well, we started these Facebook groups and pages, I would say 8 years ago. So we have about 18,000 people that follow our local pages, 365 Things to Do in Milburn Short Hills and 365 Summit in New Providence. And then we have a group which is just focused on Milburn and Short Hills. And we share birthdays, we share anniversaries, we share all kinds of events and awards and school things. And it's mostly about the history of our town, but then like if anybody who's over 85 gets a birthday shout out and pictures and whatever they've done. So we have hundreds of people that get on and comment and like, and it's wonderful. I do also interviews of our senior citizens and our veterans, and I share them with the group so that people who've moved away will say, oh my gosh, that was my friend's dad, or that was my teacher, or that. There's one man in my town, I spoke to him yesterday. He's not in my town. He was our science teacher. He's 99 years old. He just got inducted into the Milburn High School Hall of Fame, and I did an interview with him, and we sat in on a class at Milburn High, and he taught for 40 years, so he had thousands of students that loved him. And being able to, celebrate his birthday and have interviews and share them with thousands of people who grew up loving this man, and then just keeping in touch with him and letting people, I went to his house and gave him a Facebook lesson so that he could get on and talk to everybody. And, that kind of stuff. I keep in touch with a lot of the seniors who are just adorable, sweet people. And they love hearing from us. So I keep reminding everyone, call your teachers, call your grandparents, call all these people.
Right.
And we have a nice outreach in our town with people who are helping make masks, helping we're keeping a Google list of all the restaurants that have curbside delivery and pickup, and just whatever it is that we can do to keep the community connected through Facebook and Instagram, primarily those two platforms. So that's what I do. I just keep posting, and I get about 50 messages a day from people saying, can you share this? Can you share that? Can you let people know that, we've got DoorDash, or that we're closing, or that we're giving this away? Or so I just keep sharing all this stuff, and I have a lot of people that enjoy it.
I do a lot of sharing also with my friends' businesses, whether it's a diner or a sandwich shop. I share their posts, and I urge people to, to actually support the local businesses in their town.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm all about, support your community. And we give a lot of money to the Chamber of Commerce and the Historical Society and the First Aid Squad and all the, the police, the fire department. We support so many different causes. We give a Town Realty Group scholarship fund every year. So we're very active with the local high school. And it's just about, being a part of the community and helping everybody if we can, old, young,
right,
small, large, just keeping the community tight and doing well.
So what would you, well, thank you so much for both of your time. I really, really appreciate. So Karen, what would you wish to your colleagues and your friends and everyone who is watching the podcast? If you can just give me the closing statement there, I appreciate it.
I think we just all have to stay home and follow orders and be safe and be patient. We're all going through this together. That's it. We are in this together, and we're not going to a war. We're in a little bit of a war, but we're not being sent off to be shot at or be jumping out of airplanes. We just have to stay home, and I think we can do it.
Thank
so
you.
I hope everyone stays safe.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. What about you, George?
Yeah, in addition, as long as every citizen does their part to abide by the guidelines stated by our local governments, the more they abide by it, the faster we'll get over this pandemic. We just want everyone to partake in what needs to be done and not go against it.
Thank you. And from me, at the end of every podcast, I usually say 60 seconds with I Live Lucy. And today my 60 seconds are going to be about safety and health. Enjoy your time together with your family. If you're stuck with your kids and they get on your nerves, breathe in, breathe out, smile, hug them, kiss them, and everything is going to be just fine. I'm sure your 10-year-old kids are just as sick of you. Some of you have them. So just kind of stick together and make the best out of it. Cook a great dinner. Watch the movie you always wanted to see together as a family. Have a drink at 5 o'clock, and maybe if the weather is good, go to the balcony and enjoy that glass of wine. Just enjoy every minute of it as much as you can to be positive. Positive. Not that you're going to enjoy the time, but you will enjoy each other's company. And that's what my point is. Make the best out of it, since a lot of us are just cooped in our house. I had never spent that much time with my husband 24/7 as I have in the last 2 weeks. So we're kind of learning some things about each other's space and patience, and that's my wish to everybody. Just be there for each other, and be safe and be healthy, and think of your dear ones who need help. Like my mother, I can't visit her that much, but I do my best. She's 91. So I do my best, but I talk to her several times a day on the phone, and I start my day with her, and I call her at the end of the day every single day just to see how she's doing, and she's bored. So she's looking forward to every phone call I make. So she's very excited. But anyway, so let's be safe. Let's be together on that. And it will come to an end soon. I'm sure of that. Thank you, guys. Thank you very, very much. Thanks.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you. Great to see you, Lucy and George. Take care.
Great
You
to
too,
see
Karen.
you.
Thank you.